Right guys, thought I'd do an update today on the new house and being back here. I'm back out of quarantine. Not that I really needed quarantine. I had a test before I left and had a test when I got here and another test. I'm probably the least likely person to have it that I'm aware of, because I've had the least amount of contact, and generally I do anyway. Although I go into schools a lot, I try and avoid people on a normal day anyway, because people ask questions. So, yeah, house. What we've got with the house is I'm sort of toying with the idea of getting the solar power put on as the next big project. Hot tub, solar power. Hot tub, solar power. Well, I think hot tub I've ordered now won't come till about February, March anyway. So, solar power. 2 kilowatt system. Looking to get the house where it's fairly self-sufficient power-wise. But when you're looking at, in the UK at the moment, they're talking about the oil and gas, the gas-fired fuel stations, aren't they, for the electric? So even you go, well, I ain't got the gas on. It's like, it's to do with the fuel stations as well. Is the power's generated with the turbines, the gas turbines. And I just feel this is just typical Boris. For me, I find Boris has done nothing since he come into position beyond assisting his friends make money. That's all I can see from my personal perspective on this. I don't think he's done much. I think he's a ditherer. I think he's a waffler. I think he's completely incompetent. But that's my personal opinion. But the point being is, there could have been deals struck with Russia. Now that we're outside of Brexit, guess what? We can trade directly. So why has it not been done? Nobody's even asking that question. They're talking about the caps. And I was just like, forget all that. The real question is, why haven't we sorted the trade deals out? What's the idiot been doing? Oh, it's COVID. He doesn't do a lot with COVID. Don't be silly. He's not running around in an ambulance or whatever. He makes a decision that's half-baked, even when he makes one. Anyway, so the point is, Spain also has price increases, and there's been some issues around the taxation and stuff in Spain, and I'm thinking, you know what, if I take it as much off-grid as possible, I'm reduce my risk on that for the long term. So looking at putting solar power in, and I think that's what we're going to do. Solar power, then we'll set it up with the hot tub, so it heats the hot tub and stuff, and it means, because we have aircon on, April doesn't, she'll tell you it's mainly me, but through the winter, can put them on the heat, in the summer, put them on the cool. So we're going to look at that probably next week. All the flooding damage is pretty much done now and repaired. All the toilet extracts gone in. Downstairs bathroom, I think, is a work in progress still. Like I said, didn't really want the plastering done all upstairs because I wanted the rest finished first, but I think it was a case of, well, let Igor carry on with that while I was waiting for some of the walls and that to dry out. Well, I have no idea. But kitchen's arrived now, so that's ready to go in. The windows outside are now finished, except for one, which is over the small electrical cupboard, so you can't get to it with the scaffolding, so they're going to sort that out next week, and then that's the windows done. 4 months. To be fair, it took nearly 2 months to get the windows. So it's tidying up now. It's starting to get there. I want the kitchen in then, because once the kitchen's in, April and the kids can move over, and my overheads do that on the other house, because as soon as we move, my costs drop significantly, which then means we have more money to put into this one. Hence, we may get to a point Christmas time where we order the hot tub, which, to be fair, in the winter, not going to be sitting out there too much anyway. Um, but I'll put some stuff on at the end of this video, just showing where we are. The top layer with the conservatory that I think I'm going to sit on for now, just reassess financially where we are, because I need to move, see what costs involved with anything that's left over, any hidden gems somewhere. You know, for example, we move across and then have to upgrade the distribution board, or kids' new beds. I think they're going to cost me about another £1,000 each. So you've got a few expenses that are sort of there accounted for, but because we're upgrading the mattresses as well, away from the cheap ones to good quality ones, there's a few expenses that we'll cover over time. The joke being is I'll probably spend £1,000 on Ulby's room for his bed and whatever. Then he'll probably still sleep on the sofa. Does it now? He had a cockroach in his room about nearly a year ago. Never gone back to his bedroom. And now he's happy on the sofa bed. So I was like, go back to your room. But anyway, so it's nearly there. I'm looking forward to actually just finishing it off. I think next week we've got the shed going in as well, the garden shed, which means the bikes and everything can go in, get the alarm set up. Internet's been a bit more complex than I expected, because we got to get basically a banker's note for the internet, even though bought a house, so the cost of the internet's virtually nothing, but it's pain. So I've got to sort that out so I can get the internet squared off, but pretty much everything else is there. I'm going to get the solar power on. I think we're pretty much starting to get going from the expenses to somewhere like that, back to normality. Financially it's been expensive, but we planned for this for the last 6 years, so although I don't seem to be sweating a lot, it's mainly down to we'd already planned a lot of expenses. We wanted to get it right before we moved in, because once we go in, it's home. Didn't want a construction site that's going to be a constant upgrade. The only thing I will say is the top layer, which is my office area, is getting parked right now, just until we move everything else across. Becomes the storage area, and then once everything else is settled down, you know, get everything across, stack all the boxes up there, and then once everything else gets sorted out, then I go, okay, go over and assess it over the Christmas. Okay, take that wall down, put the window in there, put the door in there, and we can sort that out January, February, because at Christmas it's family time. Not religious, by the way, but since I've been married, I've been home every Christmas, regardless of where I was in the world. Doesn't sound a lot, but for many years my wife and kids were in the Philippines, so I could be in the Middle East, I could be in the UK, wherever it was, I always got home for Christmas, and that's not going to change. Not while I've still got a pulse. Important part of the year for me. So all in all, things are progressing. I'll put a couple of clips on the end here, because I know a lot of you guys follow it, so it doesn't need too much introduction. I'll just be clip. You go, oh yeah, that's finished now. But really looking forward to moving home. One thing I'll ask, if there's anything you want me to discuss on here, please just drop them in the comments below. I find somebody did ask about the airport, about what is it like with the leaving your car there all year round. First thing I'll say, I've always found eco parking very good. I've been using them for years. They will wash the car, I think, 6 times a year. I don't know if they've changed that now or not, because I think with the COVID stuff, some may have changed what they're actually doing. I'm not too fussed because that, like I said, that car's become a thorn in the side now. Not really fussed if it's washed. um, so yeah, the annual plans, I find no issues. They do all the pickups, no problems. I always phone ahead, say I'm coming in at whatever time, 8 o'clock at night, whatever. Don't get me wrong, every time I get to the airport, you've just got to wait for them to come around in rotation. Not waiting for you, because there could be another 40 people. They just, drop off, go back. They know this flight's due, and they've got people on them, so they'll just loop round. So if you're missing the first time, you might have to wait 15, 20 minutes, and then the next, they'll come round again. Or just phone them and say, hey, I'm stuck at the side here. But I find pick-up and drop-off's very good. Cost-wise, about €250 a year. If you bear in mind, going to Torrevieja from the airport, it's normally between 40 and €60, depending if it's legal or not. So it soon pays for itself when you're into regular flying. So yeah, looking forward to the next trip back, because I've been fortunate enough. Igor's picked me up the last few times. Never asked for any money because, well, we're friends, but I've been giving him bottles of whiskey and stuff. I think last time it was some honey Jack Daniels. Was it? Yeah, I think it was. Before that was a nice bottle. Yeah, of a nice Scottish whiskey. I try not to talk too much about brands. But yeah, point being is reliable service. If you're out in Spain long term, meet enough people, you just rotate around each other. You'll take Mick to the airport today. He'll pick you up in 3 weeks' time, because that's how it works. That's a sense of community. You just look after each other. Denise took us to the airport. Peter took us to the airport. I pick people up. I took Denise to the airport. That's just community. And for me, I think that's one of the great things about Spain, is you're looking after each other. And just to be clear, we do it as friendship, because I know some people, we shouldn't accept money. No, we don't. We just do it because we lived in the same neighbourhood. We're friends. There is a real sense of community in La Mata. That's all I can say on that. There is. People have a genuine interest in other people, which is good. I'm glad to see that La Mata developing more and more over time. I have spoken to a couple of people about this, where they do talk about the reality that a lot of the properties are owned by generations of Spaniards in the La Mata itself. But I do find that you'll see a lot of the properties up for sale are older properties, and they spend nothing on them. I mean, nothing. That dining table was the original one that come with the house. The sockets are the original sockets. Everything stays the same. So when you go in, it's like, oh, this is 1984. But the point being is, some of those properties are coming up for sale. People are getting too old, or they've had injuries. For example, say it's on the second floor, property opposite the guy had his leg amputated. He can't get up there anymore. So, but that's not their main house. Their house is Madrid or Bilbao or Barcelona. These are holiday homes for the Spanish people. So the point being is, there's a lot of those. At the same time, they're coming onto the market, and I don't find the prices silly anyway. I mean, La Mata, I find, is fairly undeveloped on the actual, let's call it the village part, the original part. Don't get me wrong, when you start going up the hill and over the hill, that's full-blown development. But the La Mata side, I think there was a Spanish person was taking, there used to be about 200 houses. There's now, I don't know, 3,000. But at the same time, most of the year, they're not full. They're holiday homes. But everybody who is there long term seems to know everybody. You know, the bizarre thing is, I know when somebody, for example, there's somebody working in what's that? Paraiki, the restaurant. I know the chef there from when she worked in the supermarket. and that's you know everybody, you know, and everyone has that sense of community. But it's a lot on offer. And I know somebody on the La Mata group commented, "Oh, there's more bars than there is people." Guess what? I'm not complaining. I'd say there's more restaurants than bars, by the way, not bars, because I don't think La Mata's got that many real bars. But the point being is, I'm not complaining. I've got a ridiculous amount of restaurants on my doorstep that are mainly for the holiday season, but they're open all year round, most of them. What's wrong with that? Go-karting on the doorstep, salt lakes, pony trekking, paragliding, scuba diving, snorkeling, boat trips. What else you got? Yeah, you can go to Barker Island. I think there's even a trip from Torrevieja down to Ibiza. I can't see the negative in that. And the fact that the population drops away outside of the holiday seasons means more people know each other. It is more like a village out of holiday season. But once people know you, that you're a local rather than a tourist, it's a different person. You know, people treat you slightly differently anyway, because you're one of us now. You know, from what's that, League of Gentlemen. No, you're part of the community, so they see you more often. They know, you know, like when I went back, you know, the restaurant owner, friend of ours, you know, he's already saying, "Oh, how long's your husband back for?" to my wife, because the point is, they know I'm away working. And it's nice to have that bit of community, and that's what makes La Mata worth living there. And I haven't had anybody complain about living there, you know, not one person. And I've met a few people, and there's a lot more people have moved there without me actually knowing about it, because a lot of people don't actually comment or mention anything. Then they bump into me in La Mata and says, "Oh yeah, we watched your videos and that's why we moved here." And I'm like, okay. And that's why I started saying to people, just be aware, I don't know who you are, because you're looking at me. I can't see you. So the point being is, it is a sort of developing area that's changing, you know, from nearly all Spanish to more, well, I'd say there's a lot of Norwegians, Scandinavians and others there anyway, but there's a lot more people from everywhere else. It is evolving that way, and it's good to see somebody from America's moving over. And it's not the first person that has moved there I'm aware of from America. We had a few people come over and at least stay and sort of assess the area if it's somewhere they want it to be. But yeah, there's a lot on the doorstep without the noise. You know, it's not as busy as Torrevieja. It's not as busy as Guatemala. It's not as busy as Benidorm. But what you do have is a lot of access to everywhere else. But anyway, I'll let you go, because I've just had my reminder from Alexa to go for some exercise. But thanks for watching.
A material for kitchen here, April. The lunes coming Alexander. Well, Alexander don't have working. Alicante.